If your dog suddenly walks up and sniffs your private area, it's not random, and it's definitely not just bad manners. They're picking up on something about you that you don't even realize yourself. Most owners laugh it off or feel awkward, but what most people don't realize is this behavior comes from one of the most powerful senses in the animal kingdom. Your dog isn't being weird. They're reading you. And the truth behind what they're detecting goes deeper than you think. Because in your dog's world, scent isn't just smell, it's information, identity, and emotion all at once. And once you understand what your dog is actually doing in that moment, you'll never look at it the same way again. Why does your dog go straight there instead of anywhere else? Most people assume it's random curiosity, but here's what your dog is actually doing. That area of your body produces the strongest concentration of scent markers, especially pheromones. Dogs don't see the world the way we do. They read it through smell, and this is the fastest way for them to gather detailed information about you. When you walk into a room after being outside, your dog doesn't just see you return, they scan you. Where you've been, who you've been around, even subtle changes in your body. It's like they're checking your story without you saying a word. Why does it feel so targeted, almost intentional? Because it is. What most owners don't realize is dogs are extremely efficient with their instincts. They don't waste time sniffing randomly. They go straight to the strongest signal. In a home setting, you might notice your dog ignores your hands or clothes, but goes directly there. That's because your dog isn't interested in surface-level scent. They're looking for the deepest layer of information. It's not about being inappropriate. It's about being precise. Why does your dog do this more with certain people? This is where it gets interesting. You might notice your dog behaves differently around guests, especially new ones. Some people get a quick sniff, and that's it. Others get a full investigation. That's not random. Dogs are highly sensitive to hormonal differences, stress levels, and even changes in body chemistry. If someone is nervous, excited, or unfamiliar, your dog picks up on it instantly. That sniff is their way of figuring out, is this person safe? Are they calm? Do they belong here? It's not judgment, it's assessment. Why does it sometimes happen more during specific times? Here's something most people completely miss. Dogs can detect changes in your body before you even notice them. Hormonal shifts, stress, even illness can subtly change your scent. There have been cases where dogs behave differently around their owners before they even realized something was off. So when your dog suddenly becomes more focused in that area, it might not be random at all. It could be your dog reacting to a change you haven't picked up on yet. That's not just instinct, that's awareness on another level. Why does your dog seem so calm and natural while doing it? Because to them, it is normal. This is where human perspective clashes with dog behavior. We attach social rules and embarrassment to something that, in their world, is just communication. Dogs greet each other the same way. It's how they introduce themselves, understand each other, and build context. So when your dog does this to you, they're not crossing a line. They're interacting with you in the most honest way they know. No filters, no social masks, just pure instinct. Why does your dog sometimes linger instead of moving away quickly? This usually means they're processing more information. A quick sniff is like a glance. A longer one is like reading a paragraph. If your dog pauses there for a moment, they're picking up multiple signals at once. Where you've been, your emotional state, your physical condition. In a quiet home environment, this becomes even more noticeable because there are fewer distractions. It might feel awkward to you, but to your dog, it's a moment of understanding. And here's the part that hits deeper than most people expect. Why does your dog do this, even when they already know you? Because your dog doesn't just recognize you, They constantly reconnect with you. What most owners don't realize is that dogs don't rely on memory the same way we do. They reinforce their bond through repeated sensory checks. Every time they sniff you, they're not just identifying you again. They're confirming, this is my person. This is my safe place. It's not just information gathering, it's emotional grounding. That moment you feel awkward about, for your dog, it's a moment of connection. They're not trying to embarrass you. They're trying to understand you. And in their own way, they're making sure nothing about you has changed that they need to worry about. Once you see it like that, it stops being weird. It starts feeling intentional, almost protective, because your dog isn't just living with you. They're constantly reading you, checking on you, and staying connected to you in ways you don't even notice. And maybe the real question isn't why your dog does it. It's how much they actually know about you, without you ever saying a word. And once you start seeing it that way, a few other behaviors suddenly begin to make a lot more sense. Why does your dog sometimes sniff you and then immediately relax afterward? Most people think it's just a random habit ending. But here's what's actually happening. Your dog is checking for reassurance. If they pick up your normal scent, your baseline, they settle down because everything feels right. You might notice this when you come home after a long day. They rush up, sniff you quickly, and then lie down calmly. That's not excitement fading. That's confirmation. In their mind, they've just verified that their world is stable again. Why does your dog act differently after smelling someone unfamiliar? This is where instinct and protection quietly overlap. If your dog sniffs a new person and then stays close to you, watches them more carefully, or even positions themselves between you and that person, they're not being aggressive. They're processing. That scent told them something new, something they don't fully trust yet. Dogs don't jump to conclusions the way humans do. They observe, they reassess, and they stay alert until they feel safe. It's subtle, but it's incredibly intentional. Why does your dog sometimes return to sniff the same spot again later? What most owners don't realize is that scent changes over time. Your body is constantly shifting, even within a few hours. So when your dog comes back and checks again, they're not forgetting, they're updating. It's like refreshing information. You might be sitting on the couch, doing nothing different, and suddenly your dog walks over for another quick sniff. To you, nothing changed. To them, something did. And they want to understand it. Why do some dogs avoid doing this altogether? This is where personality and trust come into play. Not every dog will do this openly. More reserved or anxious dogs might keep their distance, even if they're curious. They may rely on other signals instead, like watching you closely or staying nearby without direct contact. So if your dog does feel comfortable enough to approach you this way, it actually says something important. It means they feel safe being fully instinctual around you. No hesitation, no fear of being corrected. Why does your reaction matter more than you think? Here's something subtle but powerful. Dogs read your reactions just as much as they read your scent. If you suddenly push them away harshly or react with strong discomfort, they don't understand the social reason behind it. They just register tension. Over time, that can create confusion. Why is my person reacting like this when I'm just trying to understand them? But if you calmly redirect or simply stay neutral, your dog stays relaxed too. It keeps the interaction from turning into something stressful. And now, the deeper layer most people never think about. Why does your dog choose you over everything else in the room? Out of all the scents, all the distractions, all the things happening around them, they come to you. Not just once, but over and over again. That's not random behavior. That's attachment. Dogs are wired to bond deeply with their person, and scent is how they maintain that bond. It's how they stay connected even when you're silent, even when nothing obvious is happening. So when your dog does something that feels awkward to you, they're actually doing something incredibly honest. They're checking in. They're learning about you. They're staying connected in the only way they fully understand. And the truth is, your dog doesn't care about social rules or embarrassment. They care about clarity, safety, and connection. That moment you might want to avoid? To your dog, it's one of the clearest ways to say, I know you. I understand you. You're mine. Once you realize that, it changes everything. Because your dog isn't just reacting to you on the surface, they're tuned into you on a level most people never even think about.